Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I have a sharp game to share with you from the 2025 Speed Chess Championship. This was played November 20th. On the white end, Alireza Firouzja playing against Nepomniachtchi. Alright, Firouzja won the match convincingly by a score of 19-9. This game here is from the bullet portion, time control 1+1. We have a French defense, and with bishop b4, the Winawer variation. Knight e2, this is the Alekhine-Maróczy Gambit. I've seen this move many times playing from the black side. I was never familiar with its name. How black plays it, he does not accept the gambit, doesn't take on e4. Instead, knight f6 is played. I want to draw some attention to this capture on e4. I did learn a little something by digging into this line. The idea is to now question the bishop. If it falls back, you can freely pick up that pawn, regain the material. And if black exchanges, okay, this is your compensation for the pawn, the bishop pair, and you may still get this pawn back, depending on how black plays it. If knight f6, feel free to go ahead and pin. In ensuing knight c6, yet another pin, you will be getting that pawn back shortly. Here is the top line, however, knight c6. And black, similar to how white played it, can connect knights. And here's the thing, this capture of the pawn is not considered best. This is really what I learned by examining this line. If you take this pawn, it's looking at bishop e3, queen d2, queenside castles, and f3. Those moves. If you go ahead and take this pawn after castles, now this pawn is hit twice. And how do you defend it? If you go with c3, e5 is considered strong, opening up the position. Black already castled there, king still in the center. And the other detail, a reason to stay clear of this e4 square, picking up the pawn. If you defend d4 by developing, there's this idea of f5 and f4. Okay, so you have to be a little bit careful if black picks up this pawn and arranges the knights like this. You may have to just play it in true gambit fashion. Looking forward to an f3 break one day. All right, how it's playing out in this one, black does not take on e4. It's knight f6, e5, knight d7, bishop questioned, preserved, and the focus from here will be this d4 square. So bishop e3, c5 naturally with this French structure, e5 ready to be undermined now. So some more support for this point, knight c6, queen d2, and queenside expansion for black. And there we go, both light square bishops competing for the same diagonal. Kingside castles. From here, queen c7 is played. At the top, it points out kingside castles or apply more pressure to d4. Now, in response to queen c7, f5 is played, sharpens really fast. If castles here, and f5, the computer says to just calmly put your king in the corner. A note or two behind this move, well, you always have to respect this blasting open of the kingside move f6. In variations like this, the g file half open, there won't be any queen move landing a check. Also, if the bishop ever arrives after f6 and some capture, if the bishop is ever arriving on h6, there may be lines where the rook can conveniently respond by going to a half-open file. Okay, how it's playing out here, we have a very natural-looking move. Queen c7, development, some pressure on the center. f5 from here. So e5 a bit more vulnerable, no f-pawn support, and black undermines this point, captures away in the center now on d4. At this stage, computer wants queenside castles. I was a little concerned about queenside castles here. I mean, isn't this white rook now going to go wild here on the 7th rank? Says it's no problem. You could save the pawn and just advance here with g5, or there's even a trick connected with knight d takes e5. The idea to meet pawn takes knight with d4 fork. Okay, some sharp stuff here. What we have in response to f5, c takes d, knight takes d, two attackers on e6 before black could even think about capturing away on this point. Got to release the pressure on e6, so knight takes knight, bishop takes knight, and from here bishop c5 is played. Computer doesn't see this as best. This is turns out to be a big step in the wrong direction. It once more wants to castle here, but if you're going to castle here, you're going to have to really crunch the numbers well. f6, what are you doing? Black would have only one move that keeps him in the game. That move being bishop c5. And you're going to have an answer. You're going to have an answer here to queen g5. You would. Pretty wild continuation that I'm highlighting here. Your way out of this mate threat on g7 is to play knight captures f6. Meeting pawn takes knight with bishop takes bishop check. You're there just in the nick of time to release the pressure on g7. It runs much deeper. There's rook takes bishop here. Calling now for queen e7, rook's doubled, king h8, and now it's looking at queen e5, some variation like this, where the king goes to g8. This is considered equal. Okay, some very deep stuff. Always have to be attentive to this blasting open of the king side with f6. Can certainly understand why black would be hesitant to go with kingside castles. We have here bishop c5, pawn takes, no kingside castles now. Follow up, knight e2, queen captures pawn, taking advantage of the pin. And from here we have king h1. It says best, activate that last piece. Okay, white's out of the pin. Now this is a threat. Pop quiz, how would you respond here? Pause the video if you'd like. Black plays queen d6 here and is lost after this. The only way to stay in the game is to initiate the exchange on d4. Maybe a bit counterintuitive to play in this way. White gets to recapture. This is a significant improvement for the knight. On the positive for black, there is a consistent follow-up now. c5 no longer occupied. There is now a path for black, for the knight, into this e4 square. This is a strong post, a weak square in white's camp. And with the knight on e4, this bishop has a say in the position, indirectly supporting it. Black is up a pawn here. Doesn't mean black is better. Still prefers white. Looking at queen b4. Evaluation reading about plus 0.6. All right, still a ball game, to be sure. Now, if you're wondering about this other path for the knight into e4, it's faulty. Knight f6 here, there's a tactic with rook captures knight. The idea, if queen captures rook, there's now knight takes e6. No castling. Knight poison, queen is going to fall. This is a winning idea for white. Okay. How it's playing out in this one, we have queen d6, bishop captures pawn, rook g8, and the bishop doesn't retreat. If you fall back with the bishop, queenside castles, white has just let black off the hook by playing in that way. Firouzja says, you will not castle queenside either. This is my way to defend the bishop, and I'm okay going into a pin. From here, queen e7. no queen exchange. Queen h5 check, king d8, naturally, rook f7, very active post, queen e8, and from here knight f4 is played. The white pieces swarm in from here. Before you can play this move, you have to be aware at this stage there is a tactic nearby for black. Queen unprotected, rook pinned. There's rook captures bishop. If you take back, you're hanging the queen. Knight f4, knight improvement. You're watching over the queen here. Follow-up is king c8. Now, if e5 here, white could take on e5. If you play knight takes d5 in this position, that's where you can see this trick. Rook captures bishop. Problem on this diagonal. So rather than king c8, if black played e5, the way to meet this, a way to meet it is with bishop captures e5. It's also looking at bishop h3, targeting the knight here, but let's go with this move to illustrate. Bishop captures pawn, now what? If queen captures bishop, there's rook captures knight check. The queen falls next. And if knight captures bishop, there's rook captures bishop. Okay. How it's playing out in this one. The king goes to c8. Now the bishop is defended. Final piece activated. e5, knight takes d5. Rook captures bishop. Pop quiz. What's your move here? Pause the video if you'd like. Okay, Firouzja spotted this tactic from afar. There is only one move here that wins. The final move of this game, rook f8. Black resigns. Very pretty finish to this one. We have a double attack on the queen. We have a pin of the queen. Doesn't matter if this rook is captured in any of three ways. Black will be getting mated if black plays in this way. Black's either going to lose the queen and or king from this point. So minor piece captures if the game continued. On f8, there's queen captures queen checkmate. And if queen captures rook, there would follow rook captures queen and pick your favorite way to capture. Yet again, queen e8 is there for checkmate. All right, very pretty finish to this one out of the French defense Winawer variation. Your thoughts with this one? Feel free as usual to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care.